I'm not sure who lied to you or who told you that it's not all worth it, but if anyone did lie to you and tell you that, then I'm here to tell you that they couldn't be more wrong. And maybe the reason they're telling you that is because they're your competition and they don't want you pursuing your dreams, your goals, your aspirations with full intent, because maybe, just maybe, they're scared if you turn it up another notch what you'd actually become. Maybe just that's the case. Maybe it's not, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about how it really is all worth it. If you could allow yourself to function on a different level, if you could become a new caliber of individual, if you can learn to morph yourself into the individual that you want to be, it really is all worth it. And you'll hear people talk about a lot how really it was never about the end goal, and I do agree with that. At the end of the day, once you actually achieve that end goal, it's never really just about the end goal. It's actually about who you become along the way in achieving that end goal. But the only time people ever realize that is when they actually achieve that end goal. So I'm not going to be here to discourage you and say, no, just adapt this mindset early. I'm telling you, pursue your dreams, pursue your goals, pursue your aspirations. And when people say to you on the day-to-day, it must be nice. It must be cool to be where you're at. Instead of buying into that negative mindset because the people that are saying to you those things to you, think about what type of individual that is. Must be nice, right? Losers. Tell them it is nice. Look at them dead in the eyes next time they tell you it must be nice and say, it is nice. Play into it. Buy into the fact that it's all luck. Because what does that do? What does that actually do for you? Those people that are saying must be nice when you actually achieve your goals, what type of individual do you think they are in the first place? Do you think they're a type of individual that's going to carry through with their actions? Or do you think they're an individual that has a victim mindset, that believes you got there by luck? Of course they believe you got there when you just got lucky. Of course they believe you got there just off luck. They think you got lucky. Because they think there's, I don't know, something about the environment, just luck hit you a certain way. There's something different about you. They don't believe in themselves enough. They don't think that they're the type of individual that could actually achieve the goals and aspirations that they themselves have, whether they're man enough to say it or not. And when they look at you, all they see is insecurity, because what it actually is an internal dive on themselves. It's how they view themselves. All their insecurities come out. You've heard it. Little guys driving big trucks, right? They got little man syndrome. I know a couple people in my life who, in my past, have had little man syndrome before. Trust me. Their insecurities come out within their actions, within how they speak, within how they treat other individuals. And the problem with being too humble and not being able to say to somebody, yeah, it is nice, is the fact that to a certain extent, you need to have, as much as I don't want to use this word, but an aura around you. You do. And it's not to be viewed differently by other people, but it's actually how you view yourself. I know all the high-level people that I've been around and myself, when people ask me about certain things that I'm good at, whether that's football or just like how I carry myself, whatever it may be for your specific thing in life, all of these individuals, they own it. And you could be humble about owning it. There's some people that are cocky about owning it, but it still comes down to the basics of you need to believe in yourself. And at one point, everyone that is now successful, they were extremely delusional. So tell those people next time they say it's nice, yeah, it is nice. And just let it be, because they'll never understand. They'll never get it. They'll never actually understand what it takes. They might view you as an asshole. They might view you as somebody who, again, they think you got lucky. But guess what? Again, those people are never going to be at the level that you are at. Again, the reason I could speak on success, the reason I could speak on mindset is because I played Division I football. I've started a business. I've done things a lot of people don't have the ability to do, or don't even have the balls to take those initial steps in the first place. Most people sell themselves short. They never even try. I'm the most qualified person to talk about this. Not because I'm the most successful person out of everybody in the world. Not because I've done the most. But just because I've taken that step forward. That's what makes you qualified. What makes you qualified is not giving up. It's attacking something day in and day out. When you continue to fail and improving over time. Yes, Jeff Bezos, he crushes me in business. He crushes so many people, so many individuals. He crushes 99.9% of business owners. Does that make him the only person who's qualified to be a mentor? No. The people that are qualified are the people that have gone through often the most failure. What I feel like the losers seem to forget, and the people that think everything's so far out of touch, is the winners actually lose more than the losers. The losers just give up. The winners just say, hell no, I'm not going to stop. And that's what makes them the winner at the end of the day. It's just so insane to me. You can create your reality. You really can create your reality. I have a teammate who, when I played my freshman season at my smaller school, he was under 6 foot easily, and he was a slot. If he's watching this, shout out Tommy, bro. But we both didn't start by any means, but we were both two freshmen. We both got on the field, and we both came from very different situations. He came from a little bit of a bigger school, but he was a smaller guy. I came from a smaller school. I was a bigger guy. And he got recruited to the school late. I didn't get recruited to my college late, but the thing is, from the outside, some people will look at me and be like, damn, bro, you're so big, you have this and that, you have all these tangibles. And from other people, some people will look at him and he'll be like, damn, bro, you go to a little bit of a bigger school, or your school gets a little bit more attention. But at the end of the day, we both had factors that were against us. You could look at me and say, look at all the bad things he had to go through. And you could look at him and be like, look at all the things that he doesn't have as well. Right? You could find that for anybody. That's what a lot of people seem to forget. And we both ended up playing as true freshmen. A bunch of different situations, a bunch of different stories, and that's just one example. We were like completely opposite. I was tall, he was smaller. I was a little bit bigger, he was a little bit skinnier. I went from a little bit of a smaller school, he's a little bit of a bigger school. It's just a prime example. It's just like, if you put yourself forth and refuse to give up, you will not fail. Most people just give up. They get a year or two in, and they're like, dang, this is really hard. I'm going to give up. This isn't for me. Well, everyone that's been successful, they probably, and you probably don't even realize how much more they have failed than you. How much longer they've actually been doing it. You see online, like, all these individuals, all these athletes who just seem to pop up out of nowhere. But the athletes and the individuals who build businesses, who become super successful in athletics, these people have been grinding for years and years, day in, day out. And it's like they didn't rely on luck. They just showed up every day. So when the lucky day hit, they were there because they were showing up day in, day out. It's not a crazy concept to wrap your head around. It's just that when you're actually in it, when you're actually forcing yourself to grind and challenging yourself to put yourself forth to the full extent that you can, have attention to detail, it gets exhausting. It gets exhausting mentally. It gets exhausting physically. You have days when you want to give up. Everybody has days when they want to quote unquote give up, but it's how fast you could bounce back, right? How fast you can continue to put your foot down and run full speed. Even when you feel like you're going to throw up if you're working out and you feel like you're going to vomit, or even when you feel like the world's crashing down, what are you going to do? What's the alternative? You're going to stop? You're not going to chase your dreams? You're not going to chase your goals? Are you going to be the person at the end of the day, which I mention a lot, that regrets the life that they lived because you cared about what other people thought? It's insane. It's insane. Think about the successful version of you. The version of you that has everything that you've ever wanted. The version of you that's fulfilled, who just has it all, who's happy. Start acting like him. When you're in your current situation, pretend it's him looking back on you. Pretend it's a movie, and it's the future version of you watching a movie of your life. He knows what's supposed to be done. He's already him. You are him. What would he tell you to do right now in your current situation, your life? If he can come back and just basically step through the screen, and this was a movie right now going on, what would he tell you to do to end up like him? What would the audience who's watching your life as a movie tell you to do, where they're just screaming it at the screen? What would they tell you to do? That's the next step. That's the next action you need to take. What is it? You need to just join the program. You need to put yourself forth more. You need to get rid of that girlfriend. Get rid of that friend group. You need to do more. You need to do less of certain things. What are they going to tell you to do? It's different for everybody. It's different for you, but you actually know what you need to do. It's just sometimes it's super easy to get blinded by everything else going on in our lives. But when you actually focus, dial in on who you want to become and what he would tell you to do, it'll make itself very clear what the hell you need to do. And often, it's a thing that we've been avoiding the most and the thing that we want to do the least. And by avoiding the truth, by avoiding the things that we don't actually want to do, that we know we need to do, you're never going to reach your full potential. You're never going to have the ability to have people say to you, it must be nice. The only people that have the ability to hear that from an individual means that they've done something significant, that other people deem respectable, that other people want, that other people desire. And do you think those things come easier, or do you think those type of individuals that get those compliments or get those things said to them, which I would consider that a compliment, do you think they've went through a bunch of discipline, struggle, pain? They've had to completely reset their mindset, reshift, and become a completely new individual. Completely new individual. Again, just picture yourself. This is what brought me through some of my hardest times. I pictured myself being there already. The level, the type of individual that I wanted to be, the level I wanted to be at, I vividly, in depth, can picture right now what I used to think about my future self. I used to picture where I was, what I was doing, what I kind of looked like. And yes, you're not going to get every single detail right, but it's about being so delusional where you could see it, you could taste it. And now all there is left to do is do the work, do the steps that is necessary to accomplish and become that type of individual. You need to control the controllables and let the rest go. Control the controllables and let the rest go. A lot of people major in the minors, and they just get caught up in things that they can't control. And they never become who they want to become because they're focused on things that are outside of their control. For what purpose? For what reasoning? It's just something that we do as humans, individuals, that get us caught up. And we leave so much on the table, and it's so unfortunate. There's so many traits and so many factors that go into being successful. But something that's very and been always interesting to me, very interesting, is it always sounds motivating to individuals who aren't there yet when they hear it. And there's a bunch of different things that you could hear from other people. But if you could actually just listen to one piece of advice where you're like, you know what, that's solid, and actually live it and embody it, you'll learn all the other lessons you need along the way there. Because everyone has a unique story. But what you'll come to find out very quickly is all the people who reach a certain pinnacle of success, they get to a certain level, they're all very similar. Although their situations were unique, they get along because life taught them the things they needed to be taught. They've adapted a similar mindset because of what it takes to reach that level. And again, this is while having very unique stories. Some people had it easier than others, but you still have to become a new type of individual. No one's born at the top of their craft. No one's born like that. Yes, there are some things that some individuals have. I gave the example of one of my teammates. We were literally opposites, but we ended up at the same school. The thing is, a lot of people will hear this, they'll hear actionable advice that they could take. There's so much information on social media, and nobody will take action. And the only plan that you need to have, is just to do it. I mean, it's literally Nike's saying, Just do it. So many people sit on ideas, sit on things that they could do, but if you actually just took a step forward, you're going to see more progress. Majority of people take more time thinking about it, and the time they took to think about taking that action, they could have already taken 5 steps forward and improved, I don't know, this imaginary percent, 20%, 50%. They could be so much more ahead. You could be that much closer to earning an offer now. Or if you're trying to make money, you could be that much closer to making money now. You could have earned your first dollar already. You could have got that girlfriend, or you could have lifted that much more weight. Whatever it is that you're trying to do. Rich people, wealthy people, but not even rich and wealthy. Successful people, because success, I feel like people always think about rich and wealth, but it's not necessarily just what success is. But successful people, what they're really great at, what they do really well, is speed of implementation. Because again, poor people often have the same information as rich people. They do. Successful people often have just as much information as unsuccessful people. Sometimes they have less. Sometimes they're not as smart. They're more dumb. They're more incapable of doing the things that they need to do to become successful. But they're just so dumb to the point where they just try anyway. They just implement fast and they learn that much faster. Think about a man who claims he's the smartest man ever, or just a super smart man in general who never takes action. Is he going to be an idiot who just tries over and over and over again? Even if the idiot doesn't learn as much as he should from his mistakes, if he just keeps trying, eventually it's going to get to his brain, versus the guy that tries to perfect it before he ever takes that first step forward. And then when he encounters something that is an issue, what's going to happen? He's going to collapse because he thought about his master plan. And he's going to try to retweak everything and make it perfect and take a step again. And by the time the idiot's taken 1,000 steps, the genius, the guy who's technically more capable, has taken, 2 steps? And the idiot's going to be filthy successful, filthy rich, whatever it may be. And the guy who is more capable because of fear, he'll never become the individual that people look at and say, must be nice. Listen, I wanted to make this video to initially talk to the people who already are reaching some level of success, but what's more prevalent is what it takes to actually get there. It's easy. And if you have seen some level of success, great. There's new levels to chase. If people say that to you, then you have the ability to say it must be nice. So be grateful for that as well, even if you've worked for it. And continue to keep that mindset. Stay hungry. Don't let people throw you off your game. Don't get complacent. At the same time, be thankful for your situation. Be thankful that God gave you the ability to put your head down and do this work and everything that you have. Because if you don't, it becomes this endless cycle of pursuing more. You see in the online money space, I'm sure you've heard about it, 10K months, 20K months. And it's like they're never fulfilled. Same thing with offers. Same thing with gaining muscle. It's the same thing with everything. Continuously focus on self-improvement. Be grateful for your situation. And if someone's jealous of you, someone says must be nice, just tell them, yeah, you know what, it really is. And just keep doing your thing. Because at the end of the day, what are you really going to get out of that conversation, even if you try to explain to that individual? Nothing. You're going to waste like 15 minutes of your day, maybe an hour. Stop complaining about your situation. Stop complaining about your circumstances and take that step forward. Because if you don't, there's only one thing that's guaranteed. You're going to stay in the same situation that you're currently in. And I don't know about you, but for me, that's my biggest fear. It's my nightmare. Staying in the same place makes me want to throw up. It makes me want to vomit. That's disgusting. Truly, I truly mean that. So what is there to do? It's just to try. And you're going to come upon failure within that pursuit, within taking those steps forward. So what? It's part of the game, bro. Get over it. Sometimes I feel like that's what some people need to hear. Just get over it. You're gonna fail. You're gonna be fearful. Just get over it. It's gonna happen. Do you want to be successful? Are you going to let the fear overcome you to the point where you don't even try and you just stay stuck in your current situation? I mean, if you want to be that type of individual, be that type of individual, cool. But you're never going to be the type of individual that is respected by me, respected by anybody who is where you want to be, because you never took that step forward. You never put yourself forth. You left it all on the table. And I don't know what to tell you if that's not disgusting to you, if that's not a fear of yours. That's the fear of mine. The fear of mine is to say I was so fearful that I never tried. So just try, bro. It's going to be uncomfortable. Just get comfortable in being uncomfortable. And suddenly it all starts to click. It all starts to make itself clear. You start to learn all the lessons you need to learn. And suddenly it's like the world's not really all against you. You need God. You need close-knit people to you. Close circle, I guess, should be the right thing to say. And you just need to get better than yesterday. And if you don't, then just keep trying to get better every single day. And then one day you'll become that type of individual that you've always wanted to be. And you'll be on that path. You won't start beating yourself up when you do have those failures. When you realize you don't have everything you want yet, but you're in that trajectory, you're on that path. Your future self would tell you you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. And pretty damn soon, you'll be him. And you'll also realize by the time you've became him, there's already a whole new version of you that you want to become as well. Learn to fall in love with the chase so then you never become empty, right? Just like I was talking about the numbers, the offers. If you just are chasing the goal, you need the goal as the driving factor. You do. But if you're just chasing a number, then you're never going to be truly, truly, truly fulfilled. Use the goal to fuel you 100%. The people that tell you not to do that, and if I've said that in my content before, I apologize. Use the goal to fuel you. But once you achieve it, you'll learn very quickly that it was never about the goal in the first place. But the only people that learn that are the people who achieve their goal. Just keep it in the back of your mind so you don't ruin yourself. And I think you'll be very successful and very fulfilled. God bless.